Good morning. I'll be presenting to you just for a few minutes. I know we're maybe a little behind schedule. Very briefly, the Raytheon Readiness Response Recovery Decision Support Tool. And I'll do it briefly and then pass off to Brian, who will show you the Raytheon Advanced Tactical System. The tool was developed as part of a research and development activity in 2012. It was a concept development based on a complex event processor, and that was kind of the main product. And this is just an example to use that processor. The concept and design were developed in collaboration with NGA's, they call it Disaster Readiness Response and Recovery Integrated Working Group. The primary problem this tool is trying to address is that at a strategic level, at an international level, there's global hazards occurring very quickly around the world: wildfires, earthquakes, hurricanes, tsunamis. And so how do you focus your analyst attention to recognize and focus on the ones that are truly critical that might actually turn into humanitarian aid disasters? This tool has access to a lot of geospatial information, and what it does, it uses a scoring model similar to what a FICO score is used in the financial realm for considering applicants for loans. It's a three-tiered scoring structure, but it's very similar in concept to the FICO score. The primary goal there is to we use regional scorecards where each region of the world has maybe slightly different, using the same information, number of power stations, cell phone towers, infrastructure information, but slightly different weighting on the scores, so that you can the goal is to try and achieve some relative scoring between, say, a wildfire in Southern California and an earthquake in Indonesia. Which of those is really more critical for our analysts to look at and to maybe possibly use national resources to address to track? So that's kind of the goal of this tool. And some of the things, once you see an activity or a hazard that might be a disaster and you want to track that, we have additional means to identify, to monitor Twitter density over time and the ship traffic in and out of ports in that region. If we look over at the tool, this has a few example of events from the past. Look at today, and there's nothing in yet, so we're actually going to feed some data in for analysis. Let's see the process. Takes a few seconds to score. So we see here some scores occurred. This is, of course, generated, but you get the idea. You see each row is a score for a hazard. It might be either an initial hazard or a subsequent hazard, such as an earthquake aftershock. And we know in Haiti there were several dozen significant aftershocks. And so in this case, they're ordered by score, and the top line there, you see the bright red bar, looks like a significant hazard occurred in the Caribbean. So let's drill down a little bit in the score just to understand what happened here. And this tool does other things as well, but I'm only going to talk about the scoring today, so we have time for the RATS discussion. So you see here, these are some of the categories that comprise the overall score. And in this case, we see the social category had quite a number of, so if we look down there, we see different statistics from the United Nations and other things, and these all fed into that larger score. So in this particular scenario, we might say this hazard, obviously based on the social conditions, other infrastructure conditions and damage, that it may actually be a significant natural disaster. So let's actually take action and notify other communities of interest. So we click on send notification there. They'll actually send an email to the Telos AMHS to notify those communities of interest and do that routing. So that's it for that tool. I'd like to pass over to Brian.
Okay, my name is Brian Urch. I'm the director of the User Experience Technology Center from Raytheon out of the Fort Meade area up in Maryland. Up in the back, acting as our driver and will be the commander today, is Joey Shivers. He's the RATS technical lead out of Garland, Texas. So RATS 2.0 stands for the Raytheon Advanced Tactical System. Basically, RATS is two components. What you see up here is a web-based C2 application running on our RATMan server. This RATMan server can be something as small as a Mac Mini, can run on a laptop, or it can run in a rack-based server. The other piece of RATS is what I have right here, and that is an Android application. So it's an Android-based application running on 4.0 or greater. What's neat about it is it can not only run on phones, it can run on tablets, and we've even deployed it to those new Samsung cameras that have Android running on them. So some of our more covert users like that, so they can be out in the field acting as tourists, and have a Bluetooth going to the camera and then talking out over the VoIP channel within RATS. We've got enhanced security in RATS 2.0. We're FIPS 140-2 level compliant, which basically creates a sandbox on the Android device. So all RATS data that's stored on the device is encrypted. All data in transit is encrypted. And the other Android data, such as your gallery pictures, your Angry Bird scores, none of that's encrypted because that's outside the sandbox. We spent a lot of time with user experience in RATS 2.0. So the interfaces are intuitive, really nice geospatial displays, not only in the C2 client, but also in the Android application. We basically wanted to be able to just hand these mobile devices out to users and not have to have them go through any training. Just pick it up, know how to use it. We've got secure chat, reporting, and alerting built into the system. And I'm not going to go into great detail or demo it for right now, the remote maintenance and configuration. But that basically gives the commander total control over the mobile device, and not just in the RATS area, also on the Android side. They can see what phone calls are being made, seeing what text messages are being sent. We can demo that later after the brief here. So here are the pictures. Since we don't have an emulator, and you obviously can't see that mobile device, here are some screenshots of what the login screen looks like, the news feed. When you first log in, you get your news feed. That will be any chats or reports or alerts that have come through since you last logged in. There's your alert screen. You can do a high, medium, or low alert. Low alerts basically just pop up and they don't really interfere with your workflow. If a high alert comes through, it's going to stop everything you're doing and pop up a box, and you're going to have to respond to it. You can see your chat window, very similar to what a SMS chat window looks like on iOS or Android. Your resources are lists of the users in the area, any sensors are in the area, good for ChemBio, RadNuke if you've got any of those sensors, and also any security cameras that the RATMAN interface has integrated with. Also your geospatial view, and then finally the reporting. And we're going to use the reporting for the demo here in a second. I've already talked a lot about the RATMAN interface. There's really nothing new there to talk about. And finally, this is what we're going to show today. We've got our RATS-enabled mobile devices actually talking over the cell network. And while the general was speaking earlier, it kind of triggered something in my mind. In Haiti, total devastation. I'm sure all their infrastructure is gone. Whatever cell coverage they might have had is gone. Think of Katrina, the same thing. All wiped out. No way to communicate using RATS over a cell network. Even 9/11, towers fell. Some of the infrastructure was destroyed, but then there was total cell congestion. No way for communication to occur. The RATS devices can also talk, obviously, Wi-Fi and tactical radio. But we've also partnered with a vendor called Lemco, and they've got 4G on a backpack. You can just basically walk into an area like this, fire it up, and in 1 to 2 kilometer range with the backpack. Or you can have a car, I guess, 4G, and that goes 10 to 20 kilometers. So even if, total devastation, you hook up with a vendor like Lemco, you've got comms. So anyway, today, over the cell network, we're going to hit the RATMAN server, and we're going to push casualty reports up to TELUS's 7 app, which would then push it out to all the participants here today. And you've seen this already, happen with a couple of the partners today. Our commander, Joey, is up there as the super. My device obviously is not talking because it should be displayed as user 1. User 3, I think, is back at Joey's hotel. User 4 used to be back up at my hotel, but it's gone, so I'm hoping the cleaning lady didn't pick it up and walk out with it. But anyway, I'm logged into RATS now, and I'm going to wait for a casualty report to hit, and then you see it there, and I got it here basically giving instructions on where to go, saying user 2, ambulance needed at the following location. So I'm down there, well, with user 2 up there actually. I would go to that location, I would go into my RATS device, and then I would take a picture, and then after I take a picture, I would then go ahead and fill out a casualty report. And then when I send the casualty report, not only would it go back up to the RATMAN server, but it would be distributed again to everybody that's out in the geospatial cloud. So that's pretty much it for the demo. One takeaway is that RATS alone is a great benefit to first responders and search and rescue teams because the commander is able to see where everybody is. They're able to mark out and draw on the map, draw overlays, and send them to people. But RATS running in the cloud is really a 10 times benefit. So any authorized user that's a participant in the cloud can log into this web-based portal and actually see what the RATS commander is seeing. And then finally, the integration between RATS and our participants here today is like the 100 times benefit that we heard about earlier today. So that's about it. We'll be set up outside later on today, so if anybody would like to come by and see a demo, just come by and see us. Thank you.